Alright, here we go. Story number 5. 2:02 a.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Chad is Xavier Harris, recording live from Duluth, GA. 1:45 a.m. Eastern Time until 1:50 a.m. Eastern Time on November 10th, 2022. The last thing I remember before being thrown into the wall was my finger. My finger was in his face. Now all of a sudden, I find myself falling to the ground, fresh from hitting the wall. The next thing you know, I was being stomped into my freshly washed carpet. I had just returned the rug doctor the day before. Now I wish the doctor was still here. As blood flowed from my mouth, I tasted the grass from the bottom of his soles. All I could muster up the strength to say was one word, in the form of a question. Why? I asked myself this question in my head, more times than I articulate in the moment, period. The last thing I remember hearing was, why wouldn't you stop? Why wouldn't you stop? Naturally, I was asking myself the same question, but with it posed to the both of us. Why didn't I stop? I wondered. Now he won't stop. The kicks didn't stop. My heart rate slowly stopped, vigorously. My heart rate slowly stopping vigorously, what's the last thing I had ever felt? Story number 6. It be like that sometimes. Revisited. 1:51 a.m. Eastern Time until 1:59 a.m. Eastern Time on November 10th, 2022. I don't even know who this guy was. I was totally caught off guard. I don't even know who this guy was. I was totally off guard and balanced. I was caught totally. I don't even know who this guy was. I was caught totally off guard and balanced. My balance was caught off guard. I was just walking to my mailbox. I was just walking by this guy who was walking down the street, and I accidentally stepped on his shoes. They must have been a brand new Jordans, because all of a sudden he's in my face screaming and shouting. I should have just apologized, but I didn't. This only made him angrier. He couldn't have been any angrier. The next thing you know, I'm being body slammed and drugged to my backyard. I'm thinking about continuity. Okay. There we go. Here's how we do this. I was just walking by this guy who was walking down the street, after parking in my driveway. Okay. I was just walking by this guy who was walking down the street, after parking in my driveway. I asked him, what the hell did he think he was doing? He said he would be right back. chill out. I didn't want to chill out. Period. I followed him. Period. He turned around hastily, and so there we go. Continuity. He had a car. I followed him. He turned around hastily, and so I accidentally stepped on his shoes. They must have been the brand new Jordans. Okay, cool. Yeah, continuity. Very important. You niggas would have ate me alive for that. I don't even know who this guy was. I was caught totally off guard and balanced. My balance was caught off guard. I was just walking to my mailbox. I was just walking by this guy who was walking down the street, after parking in my driveway. I asked him what the hell did he think he was doing. He said he would be right back and to chill out. I didn't want to chill out. I followed him. He turned around hastily, and so I accidentally stepped on his shoes. They must have been the brand new Jordans because all of a sudden he's in my face screaming and shouting. I should have just apologized, but I didn't. This only made him angrier. He couldn't have been any angrier. The next thing you know, I'm being body slammed and drugged to my backyard. I was planting a garden today. I had picked up the hobby recently. I had a bed of rocks around the garden, more like 10 to 15 pound boulders. There were about 10 of them, neatly placed side by side. Now there were 9. My vision was going in and out, my eyes opening and shutting quickly, attempting to process the moment as best as I could. The randomness of the attack had me stunned. The randomness of the attack had me stunned, if not shocked. The last thing I remember seeing was my boulder in the air. I felt the first impact. I don't remember feeling anything else. Let me go back. What's the name of this one? It'd be like that sometimes. Okay, cool. Just checking for continuity. Cool, yeah. It never says where he was or anything about the backyard or anything. So we're good on that one. Alright, I'm gonna take a break. Oh man. I just want to take a short little break. Contemplate if I'm going to go to sleep. Pardon me, excuse me. Pardon me for that. Please forgive me. Now, yeah, I'm getting real into it now. Go do we got 2 more victims to do. Then I still have to go through everything else that I wrote and add more colorful language to everything so it doesn't pile up so much. And figure out the other perspectives, the other characters that I want to bring into the story at this moment. And then from there, go back to the original killers and flesh out their character analysis more and their backstory, start giving them backstories and not just having crime scenes. I just want to start it off with a bunch of crime scenes. Then victim perspective of the actual crime itself happening. Then from there, the perspective of, the victim's family, and then maybe even the perspective of the different people affected by the crime, whether the people whose job it is to perform some kind of act about the crime, whether coroners, CSI, forensic analysts, or detectives, police officers, judges, passerbys, funeral home, undertaker kind of people, and undertaker kind of people, and things like that, just to really give a real realistic viewpoint of the entirety of the situation, and not just the glory of, you know, the satisfaction that the killer feels from doing that, and you know, really showing the ramifications and implications of, you know, the ripple effect of the crime itself, to really show the ripple effect, to really show, you know, to show the victims' families even years after. Like, that's going to be the most heartbreaking part of the story. I would think that would be one of the most heartbreaking parts of the story. One of the most realistic aspects is to actually focus on the whole, the OJ Simpson side of it, the Nicole Brown's family, the Ron Goldman's family, like the family of the victims. You know, I've had a friend who was murdered, so this story is in no way of, you know, promoting anything like that. That's why I'm writing it like this, and you know, to make it a heartbreaking tragedy, because that's what crime and violence is. It's just a heartbreaking tragedy that has a great ripple effect. So yeah, I can see why Mike says this is a very important story and I need to write it and I should keep going. And I was concerned because he's a Muslim, so I was like, you know, I don't know if you like horror like that, bro, but check this out for me. Just let me know if you like it. I would really love to see what you thought about this, because that would mean a lot to me if you could see the importance of it, and he really could, and he saw more of it than I might have seen, you know. And he was like, you have to keep writing this. This is a tragedy. You are not writing horror. This is a Greek tragedy. This is classical tragedy. This is classical literature, not modern horror. This is a classic tragedy. You know, it's a tragedy, and you have to keep going with it. It's a very important story, bro. I'm proud of you and stuff. You're doing a good job. Keep it up, bro. It's a great story. You have to keep it up. So shout out to Mike Anderson, Mikael Hiru. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching, and you all have a great night. I love you all. You all have a great night, and thank you so much for observing my art. Nothing means more to me in this world.